Thank you for joining us for the Autumn Crew for our Waterdeep Dragon Heist 4-stream extravaganza. We are second in the lineup after we were so great to get kicked off Monday night with Eugenio Vargas and the Great Monday Crew with our winter stream. So thank you. So this is session 1. And we are stream 2 of 4 streams playing through the new Wizards of the Coast Waterdeep Dragon Heist stream. I am your host and DM, Dan Gaston, at MadsIDM on Twitter. But we'll stop listening to me blather on like an idiot for a while and introduce all of my fantastic players who are joining us. So we'll go through and say hello to everyone and just get a quick who you are on the internet, if relevant, and who you are playing. So let's start off with Nox.
Hi, I'm Nox on the internet. You can find me on the Twitters at Nox Noctua, where I tweet about the games I'm in, politics, my life. This game. I'm playing Dahlia. The Eladrin Bard. She is I'm trying to remember what we called it. She's a respite worker in special hospitality.
Excellent. And we're excited to learn more as we go around, and we'll have deeper introductions to our characters. Let's kick it over to Matt.
Hey, I'm Matt. On Twitter, I'm at Learning Kim. And tonight I'm going to be playing Styx, a human fighter who has a little bit of an odd job working for a crew to help clean up everybody's messes.
A cleaner, if you will.
It is. Nothing like Servo Pro with no questions asked.
Absolutely. Quick service. All right. Thanks a lot. Ryan.
Yeah. So I'm Ryan. I am R. Rudabach on Twitter. I play in Red Hand Roleplay. And so this is a lot of fun being here. I am playing Vendrit Bone Forged, or Doc, which is a Hildorf cleric. Forge cleric, or we'll come to find out more of a forgery cleric helping out in the background. So
excellent. Thank you very much. Jeff, no stranger to the channel.
No, I'm Jeff. I'm at Atomic Straw on Twitter and regular cast member of various variant roles things. For this game, I'm playing Thaddeus Brosfeather, a kind of layabout son of the noble family who hangs out in the City of the Dead, relieving the dead of some items and looking at the carvings on the wall of heroes and believing he is one himself.
I didn't know this was a comedy.
Excellent. Well, we certainly enjoy laughter. And welcoming, last but not least, our final new member, Cindy.
Hello. So my name is Cindy. I'm also Cindy on the internet, which is irrelevant. So I'm playing Emmeline Brosfeather. She is Thaddeus' younger sister, the better Brosfeather. So we're both Waterdavian nobles, and she was sort of kicked out by her parents a few years ago, and she went to study at a monastery for a few years and then came back. So she is now also a monk.
Excellent. So as our viewers can tell, we have quite a mixed bunch of ne'er-do-wells, although some of them are wealthier and richer than others. And so we'll find out a little bit more about each of our characters as we introduce them in the course of our opening scene. So our camera pans into a lively inn. There is a bard on the stage playing passable music on a lute that only has 3 strings. You've all entered at various times to get away from the rapidly chilling air as autumn or fall sets into Waterdeep. This inn, unlike most of Waterdeep, is full of people who are actually carrying weapons, many of them, clad in armor. There's a lot of adventurers in the Yawning Portal. In fact, the center of the ground floor is dominated by a 40-foot wide well that descends deep into Undermountain, the legendary dungeon that sits beneath Waterdeep, and the dungeon that made the proprietor of this inn, Durnan, his wealth. Durnan is standing behind the bar, polishing glasses, while his serving men and women are darting around the room. As I said, plenty of music, laughter, adventurers gathering together. There is a group being lowered right now on a wooden pulley contraption down the well to descend into Undermountain itself. So, some of you are here or just arriving. So let's go around in a slightly different order. So, Doc, what brings you to the Yawning Portal today?
I just got off a long shift of patching people up at the family apothecary and meeting Dolly here in a bit, and so just eyeing the prospective people that I'll probably need to visit the family come tomorrow. So just hanging out at the bar, trying to just take it all in.
All right. Well, you're definitely always, the hospitality here is good, so I would imagine that Bonnie, one of the serving ladies, comes up to you to offer you ale or food or drink of other sorts as you may wish it.
Yeah, I'll get a couple of tankards because I know I won't be alone for long. So,
all right, the ale is a pretty standard price. It's good, 2 silvers per tankard. All right, Dahlia, what brings Dahlia into the sorry, I realize I said that just as you're starting to take a drink. What brings Dahlia into the Yawning Portal today?
Yeah, so I open the door to the Yawning Portal, and I'm like smacked in the face by all the like hustle and bustle and everyone talking at the same time. And I cross over the threshold. I've got my hands grasping, holding on to the straps of my traveling pack. I've got this wide brimmed woven hat on with a big bow in the back. My hair is in a braid. I've got like loose, comfortable, but still stylish traveling clothes on. And I'm like, and I'm like scan the crowd, and I see Doc, and I'm like, and I like traipse over, and I just sort of lean against whatever tape. No, you can't be. You'd be sitting at some low thing.
a little bit, more comfortable for a man of my stature of a whopping 4 foot.
Yeah. So I come over. I just like put my hands on my hips and like tower over you. I'm like almost 6 feet tall. And I'm just like, I'm glad to find you here, Doc.
Likewise, good to see you. It's been a minute. Well, please come join me. We have ale on the way.
I sit down, take my pack off, put it on the table, and I'm clean, but I still smell like dirt somehow.
And so as you sit down, Bonnie bustles over, a relatively standard bar server, white blouse, long skirt, bustles over to frothing mugs of dwarven ale, plops them down, one in front of each of you, sort of sketches a little bit of a curtsy, and then hurries off to deal with other customers.
Cheers.
All right, so Styx, what are you doing in the Yawning Portal?
Well, I had actually came in with several of the, just a couple of people from work. we decided to come by the Yawning Portal just to have a couple of tankards of ale and see if any of the dungeon crew had decided to go down. So I'm sitting with Nigel, one of the guys I work with. Hey, Nigel, I'll take 20 that they don't make it back. And so I end up in 20 goals that the crew that they're lowering down into the pit don't make it back for this time. And I'm scanning around looking at the crowd, and I happen to notice Doc and Dahlia also, and kind of to them. So
Nigel sort of leans over and says, Sticks, I don't think you got the money to cover it, but I'll take that bet.
Well, we'll see. You're going to be the one paying for this one.
I don't know. They look pretty good.
Yeah, we'll see. I've been right before.
You still owe me 10 gold off that last one.
Nah. Put it on my tab and we'll keep on going.
You're going to die with that tab.
Yeah. Or you'll die and I won't owe you anything.
he sort of looks at you with a little bit of side eye on that last one. All right, Thaddeus, what brings you into the Yawning Portal?
Well, my buddy Stick had a proposition for me for getting rid of this nice little gem I picked up. So I decided to slum it some. And I'm wearing what I think is pretty clothes. I'm wearing all black, but I mean, everything's silk and heavy fabrics and very, very nice stuff. I am wearing a cloak that's all black on the outside. The inside is a deep maroon, and it's lined with a tinge of gold. And I have a belt with a bunch of pouches on and a dagger that's sheathed in a deep red mahogany sheath. And I come in, kind of look around. Well, this is certainly a rabble, isn't it? I just kind of eye everybody, and I see Sticks there, and I just stare at him. Well, let's see what this boy's about. I wander over.
I'll kind of notice that as you go, just a little bit of nod towards his direction.
So seeing that, I nod at him and go off to another table, but try and get away from most people.
Nigel sort of looks over at you, Sticks, and just says, "You look like you got some business to do, so I'll leave you to it." And he sort of gets up and scurries off.
Later. I'll catch you later.
All right.
Once he gets up, I'll wave Thaddeus over to my direction.
I'll come over and just sit down. How's it going, Sticks?
Good. What's up, Thaddeus? Heard you may have something for me.
Yeah, I got a little red piece of sparkle. I know you've helped me with such things before.
Yeah, we can probably get it taken care of. I know a couple of people that will help out. So, how much you thinking we should be trying to get for this?
Well, this one's about the size of my palm. I don't know what kind of quality it is, but it wasn't much of a family.
Well, we may have to go take it and see my guy at some point. Do you want to go with me, or do you want me to take it and just take care of it? And by the way, cut's still the same. I get 10%.
Of course.
So we pan over to the door, and Emmeline comes in, Emmeline, what brings you to the Yawning Portal?
All right. So Emmeline is doing her best to sneak in. She's a little more conspicuous than Thaddeus, but trying very hard not to be seen right away. So she is tall and slim, fair-skinned with gray eyes and a young face, same gray eyes as her brother. She's wearing a deep red gown that's nearly floor length. So she's got a fitted lace bodice and and long sleeves and a satin skirt. It has to have at least one petticoat under it. And she's got a gold necklace and gold ribbon braided in her hair and a signet ring on one hand. And totally incongruously with the rest of it, she also has this long blue feather in her hair. Doesn't really match the outfit. Okay. And she's carrying an embroidered bag that has the edge of a boomerang hanging out. And she's sort of looking around suspiciously when she comes in and, turning up her nose a little bit at some of the, customers nearest the door that she can smell. And, she kind of catches sight of her brother over in the corner and hasn't caught his eye yet. So she sort of leans closer to the table near the door and she gets a bar of soap out of a bag that she's carrying. And she says, "Here, this will help. It's a lavender basil." And she just kind of puts it on the table and walks away. And then she approaches Thaddeus. "Brother, what are you doing here?"
Why, Boo. How good to see you. Have a seat. I was just having a drink with my buddy here.
Don't call me Boo in public.
Oh, Boo.
We
You're so touchy.
have an image to maintain.
Thaddeus, who is this?
And Sticks, this is my sister, Emily.
Charmed, I'm sure.
You will
No.
treat her with every bit of respect you would treat me.
How much is that?
Less than you actually think.
Sticks, is it?
With Sticks, that's true.
Six. Yes.
Lovely name. You know what you need? Pepper lemongrass. It's on me.
Mm.
Yeah,
Thanks.
she does this. Just
I kind of just flick it off into the floor.
I made that myself.
Well, thank you, but I don't want it.
Well, then nothing will change, will it?
come have a drink.
Doc and Dahlia, as we pan back over to you, what do we see?
So I'm gonna presume I've ordered some kind of drink or something, and that it's arrived. And whatever the hell it is, it's in like a stemmed glass, like a wine glass looking thing, but it's not wine. Who the hell knows? It's a fantasy drink. And I lean forward, like holding it in my hands, and I look at Doc. "So, how have things been since I've been gone?"
Doll, you with the summer's night closed, all the entertainment just kind of, the life of the city just kind of dies a little when you're gone. So, but good to have you back. Business has been solid on both ends, and yeah.
What,
so it's
Doc?
been good.
Is that Styx and Thaddeus?
You know,
And I point over at them.
yeah. You know, that is them. What are they doing here? Probably nothing good, I'm sure.
Why is that woman flinging around soap everywhere?
There's all kinds in the Yawning.
Let's go say hi.
Let's. And I pick up the couple of tankards and follow
Leap
the
up,
Dahlia over.
swing my pack around, hold my glass. Still smelling like dirt, but looking clean as hell. And I traipse over to everyone, and I slap a hand on Styx's shoulder. "Styx, what a pleasure to see you here!"
Gentlemen, and I use that term
Hi.
loosely.
Styx is muted.
Nice. Sticks.
Dahlia, nice to see you again.
Yes,
You look like you've been traveling.
I have. I'm very happy to be back. And I've got red hair, like tan skin. I forgot to mention all those fun details.
All right.
Is this also a friend of yours, brother? We haven't been properly introduced.
No, we haven't. I'm Dahlia, and I hold
These
a
are
hand out.
just staff. Don't worry about it.
No, I don't work here. Hi, I'm Dahlia.
Lady Emmeline.
And
Frost Feather.
I'm holding my hand out like for a shake. No, you've got it wrong. And I turn your hand and do a shake and let it go. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Are you two related?
Slowly withdraws her hand and kind of reaches for her bars.
I take it and I'm like, how pleasant. I love it. I will take it back with me to my apartment.
I made it myself.
Oh, that is...
There's another bar over there sitting on the floor right here if you want this one.
You know, I think I will pass on the floor soap. This will be plenty, and I stuff it into my pack.
There's plenty more where that came from.
Well, I look forward to smelling all of your soaps.
So as you guys are talking and sort of getting settled, some more drinks come over for those who hadn't yet ordered. You hear a commotion nearby you as this large booming voice just sort of belts out, "You cowards, killing me mates." And you hear this like meaty thunk of a fist hitting someone solidly in the chin. And just as you're panning over to sort of look and see, this large female half-orc sort of comes stumbling backwards and crashes into your table, which sort of like upsets it. Glasses go flying everywhere. And then as you're looking, the half-orc that crashed into your table seems to sort of flicker in place with just this rapid, almost staticky sort of appearance. And before your attention can really focus on it, you then hear this booming roar over sort of across the tavern in the direction of the well. And when you swing over, you can see this green-skinned, black, ropey-haired creature crawls out of the well and rises up, sort of stretching up to a 9-foot height. And you can see these large, almost bat-like creatures hanging off of it, which also similarly sort of flicker in place as they kind of fall away. But then this creature just lets out this roar, and you can actually see blood and bits of hair dripping off of its long black fingernails as someone yells out in a panicked voice, "Troll! It's a troll!" And I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh, shit.
I told you I'd win that bet.
Oh my god, this is all so fast.
All right, I will start with Dahlia.
That's a big old 6.
Big ol' 6.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right, Styx.
A big whopping 10.
Well,
Somebody else roll higher.
That's better than a 6.
That's true.
Doc.
18.
Woo!
Oh, there we go.
Go, dwarf, go.
Thaddeus.
18.
All right. Which of you wants to go first?
Doc can.
All
Okay.
right. And Emmeline.
17.
17. Okay. All right, so this creature unfolds itself. You can see as these creatures kind of fall away and sort of flitter swollen with blood as if they had been feeding on the troll back down the well. You can see little bits of blood leaking out of the troll, and it is roaring in rage. And you can hear Durnan sort of doing something in behind you. But Doc, what do you do?
Go and put my hand on Thaddeus and cast guidance and say, "It's all you, my boy."
All right. And what does that look like, Thaddeus, Doc, when you cast guidance on him?
Well, it just kind of just radiates, just like a faint gray glow on his shoulder, and it kind of spreads a little bit over him, just along the outline of him.
Okay. All right. So Thaddeus, you feel infused with some magical vigor. And what are you doing?
So I just look over at the troll. Is the half-orc still on the table, or did she flick her out?
Yeah, so if you glance down and the half-orc has sort of moved. They're still nearby, but they're sort of on the floor a bit further away.
So I look at her, look up at the troll, look over at Emily, and say, well, that's just awfully uncivilized. Kind of reminds me of when Mother had the Cosmos over. I reach into a pocket on my belt and pull out just a little iron nail and flick it towards the troll.
All right.
So this will be with sharpshooter and the guidance.
Excellent.
So that's a 14.
All right. Just 1 second as I pull this back up. 14. So it's sort of your dart goes twirling towards the troll and sort of just glances off its rubbery hide sort of on the shoulder and then careens and smacks into a pole in behind it.
See, that pole won't be messing with us anymore.
Very effective.
And the troll just sort of whirls its head over towards your group. That brings us to Emmeline.
So she makes some snide comment about this guy's going to need a lot of soap. She uses her movement to quickly lose her large skirt. So now she's down to like leggings and she can move more effectively for a monk, right? So then she throws her boomerang at the beastie's face with a whopping 7 to hit. She may have been distracted by the skirt. I'm assuming it doesn't hit.
No, yeah, so it sort of just goes totally wide past the troll.
All right. She also has a bonus unarmed attack. So what's the distance between us and the troll?
You can definitely get to it. There's people around, but you can definitely get over there.
All right, I guess I'll try karate chopping. Hopefully I don't kill off my character. Right. Okay, so that's 14 to hit.
Okay, and so similarly, you sort of what does your unarmed attack look like? Are you punching? Are you kicking?
I guess I would have kicked. I don't really want to touch it. It's pretty gross.
Okay, so yeah, your very nice polished boot sort of just whiffs by the troll's long carrot-like nose as it kind of like leans back out of the way, and its mouth kind of opens in this smile, and you can see it's got pointed yellowy fangs. This putrid odor kind of just wafts over your face as its hot breath goes over you as it roars in your face, and you can see like little scraps of what may be a finger in between its jaws. Sticks.
I'm gonna pull my clubs out and see what I can do from there.
All right.
Because that's about all I would have been carrying with me tonight, weapon-wise. So, let's see. I have two-handed weapons fighting, so I'm gonna try to hit with both of them.
Okay.
All right, first one. Oh, that definitely missed. A 4.
Yeah. Sort of startled by the troll's roar.
And a 9.
All right. And
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, a 12.
12, yeah. So similarly, sort of swinging at it futilely as the troll is just standing there. Dahlia.
Hi. So this thing comes up through the okay cat. Yeah.
Throw the cat. Throw the cat.
Classic cat. Classic cat.
Hey, let me put my ass in the camera. Okay. So I just look around kind of in shock and watch as people start attacking it. And I look at Doc and I look at Thaddeus and I say, okay, I guess this is what we're doing. And I'm gonna, I guess, go ahead and cast some dissonant whispers on it.
All right, excellent.
Um,
Wisdom saving throw on my part, I believe.
Yes, 13 is the DC.
And the troll sort of looks over as you cast your spell and describe it for me, what the troll is experiencing.
Yeah, so as I'm casting it, my mouth is moving, and nobody can hear anything. But what the troll can hear is this, to take the words directly from the spell description, it hears a discordant melody. And I think that on my face, it starts to take on like this somewhat grotesque appearance, centered right around my eyes, and like veins start to show up, and my eyes start to turn black. And it just this troll thing just hears this really disturbing, creepy song.
All right. So the troll reaches up and sort of clutches at its ropey hair and head as you do this and starts screaming in, you presume, giantish or something. So unless any of you speak giant, it just comes out as sort of like Swedish chef as it talks, but deeper. Go ahead and roll damage for me.
If it failed its save, it takes 9 psychic damage.
Okay.
And it has to immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Okay.
It doesn't move into obviously dangerous ground or anything.
Okay. That is good. So it takes some damage, and it sort of turns back sort of the way it came, which is towards the well, and runs towards it and sort of leaps up onto the lip of the well. Which is about as far as its movement will take it. And it's hard to tell whether it's going to try and retreat down the well or maybe jump, over it. Well, I guess not over it because it's 40 feet wide. Or like it might try and skirt around it. But for the moment, it's perched kind of up on the lip of the well. All right. And then it is actually the troll's turn. Is this one of the ones, remind me, where it gets a repeat of its save on its turn? Or it just uses its reaction, runs away, and then it's fine?
It's a one and done kind of deal.
Okay, all right. So it whirls back around and sort of shakes its head and yells out something like, "No, tasty elf," and then kind of jumps back down and starts moving back towards you, but it's sort of stalking. And at that point, Durnan has kind of charged back across and has come up to join you and is just leaning on the pommel of a greatsword that he has the tip resting in the floorboards and just says, "Well then, I think the troll might be a bit much for you. Happy to jump in if you wish. Leave it up to you."
Be our guest.
And so he kind of charges up and takes a swing with his greatsword. And hits it twice. And so he slashes across it a few times. And you can see big gaping wounds, which of course on the troll sort of almost immediately start to close. And he yells out, "You might want to get some of the lamp oil. fire is pretty potent on these trolls. And we come back around to Doc.
Aye. All right. Well, good to know. So I go ahead and pull out my light hammer because, well, don't need anything. Don't need my war hammer to come drink. And so just the little light hammer, you always carry around for whatever reason. And so I cast on it Searing Smite for my bonus action.
Okay.
And so I'll go up and try to give him a good thunk in the kneecap.
Excellent.
I do not thunk him in the kneecap because that is a big old 10.
So the troll kind of like hops over your low swing as you go to kneecap it, and then sort of lands down in front of you and says, "Ooh, been long time since a dwarf." Thaddeus.
So what is the lighting in the Yawning Portal? Is it?
It's pretty well lit. Yeah, it's like, yep, there are lamps with full of oil all over the walls.
So until now, I haven't gotten out of my seat. I just kind of stand up and wander over to one of the lamps, take it down, and I actually toss it to Emmeline. I say, "Emmeline," and I just throw you the lamp. Still burning.
Emmeline, why don't you go ahead and give me a acrobatics check
To catch the lamp.
to catch the lamp.
All right, that is a 15.
All right, so I mean it's hot metal, but you manage to just grab it sort of neatly by the handle as it swings by, and you now, yeah, and so you now have a oil lantern in your hands, and it is your turn.
Okay, thank you, brother. I guess I will attempt to break it over the troll's head. So got my ninja moves going here. I don't know how do you roll attack for a lamp?
Just go ahead and are you gonna like sort of keep it in your hand, or are you gonna throw it at it?
I think I'll like parkour off the wall and then sort of break the lantern over his head and then kind of tumble away.
Okay. That sounds good. So I will do one of the things that I often do. So if you want to parkour off the wall, I'm totally in favor. We'll have a little bit of an acrobatics check. If you're successful, you'll get advantage on your attack roll. If you're unsuccessful, hilarity will ensue.
Okay, well, I hope a 13 is good enough to parkour off the wall.
I think it is. There's lots of stuff around. 13 is pretty good, so you parkour off the wall. So go ahead and make a strength-based attack roll with advantage.
So as a monk, can I do dex instead?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And but you won't have your proficiency bonus because it's an improvised weapon.
I just rolled a nat 20.
Excellent. Excellent. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad you.
There we go.
With the 7, but the first one was all right. Plus dex is 3, so 23.
Yeah, and so a natural 20 will hit regardless. So you bring that lamp smashing down over top of the troll. Go ahead and roll me 2d4.
All right. That's a 4 and a 3.
Okay, so you do 7 points of fire damage to the troll as the lantern smashes over it and it erupts in burning oil and flame. And so unless it puts that fire out, it is going to stay on fire and continue to take damage every round. Styx.
I'm going to hunt for that bar of soap that I kicked over in the floor because I'm going to throw that.
All right.
All right, I'm going to scramble around. How long is it going to take me to find this thing?
Oh,
wait a minute. There it is.
It's right there, exactly.
All right. I'm going to pick it up and try to throw it at the troll.
All right. Go ahead.
All Woohoo! How about a 24?
24 smacks that troll right in its big old carrot nose.
All right. Let's see. What would a bar of soap do for damage?
I knew that soap would come in handy.
D4. You know,
Okay.
we'll just default to a D4 as improvised.
All right, three points of damage right in the. And now it smells better.
So I think the soap, and I had told Emmeline, so her little magic bag of soap produces basically like those, gift soap, the little things you put in your guest bathroom. It's nice and round. It lodges right in the nostril of the troll, which sort of stumbles backwards, like pawing at its nose. Sort of stumbles back a few feet.
Peppermint burns too.
Yeah, and it starts sneezing, and it sort of bumps up against the lip of the well. Dahlia.
Push it! Push it!
Push it real good.
Oh my god. I hadn't actually put my glass on the table. So I just take a swig of it, and I think it's like a Saint Germain's kind of concoction.
Sounds good.
It's gonna treat me right. And I just continue to hold it and shake my head and sigh. I was really looking forward to getting home. And I make eye contact with the troll, and I do dissonant whispers again.
Okay.
Same look as before, as my face contorts into this hideous fey-like thing.
And it
DC
fails
13.
again. And it fails again.
Fantastic. That's a 9 psychic damage.
Okay.
And it again has to make a reaction to run away.
Yeah, and so it's actually enough that as your whispers penetrate its brain and it's like clawing at this bit of soap, it sort of clutches its head again and sort of screams, this time in common, and says, "No, nasty elf lady," and sneezes. The bar of soap comes ricocheting out sort of across the bar, but then it twists and falls, still wreathed in flame, screaming down the well. And then you can hear after, you sort of wait. And it's a pretty long drop, and then whoop, and a thump. And Durnan sort of saunters over and looks over and goes, "Well, pretty well done. Handled yourself well."
Yes.
Take that, you troll.
And he just goes, "Many thanks. Around on me." And sort of wanders back towards the bar.
I give him my glass to take with him. Same thing as before.
And he grabs it.
shot.
He sort of, quickly takes your orders. He's acting like this is totally normal. Just a routine day in the Yawning Portal.
Emily picks up her skirt off the floor and kind of smooths it out and, puts it back on.
I now know why I don't come here that often.
And this is why I've never wanted to perform here.
Jeez Louise.
And with that, the bard who was playing some music sort of picks up a jaunty tune again, a well-known Waterdeepian tune called "The Troll is Dead." Waterdeep had many altercations with trolls over the years, so it's a crowd-pleasing favorite, especially given the circumstances.
Oh, I know this one. Troll is dead, the troll is dead, the troll is dead, the troll is dead. And
yeah, it sort of just repeats that over and over and over again, and everyone likes it because everyone knows the words.
The troll is dead, the troll is dead, the troll is dead.
All right, so you guys return to your table. Someone sort of writes it, kind of smooths it all out, and Durnan comes over and starts setting out your drinks, and then heads back over to the bar.
Whew, that was a little bit of excitement.
Thanks for the lantern.
I thought it would light the way.
I'll drink to that. Actually.
It was an interesting way to come back from vacation.
Well, I guess that's what happens when we end up showing up here. So
So why
is-
are you
it
here?
is known for its excitement.
What was that, Thaddeus?
Why are you here? Don't normally see you here.
Where do you normally see her?
Elsewhere.
This big
I
grin
should follow
creeps
you more
across.
often.
This big grin creeps across my face in real life and in game as I'm watching Thaddeus and Emmeline have this little interaction. And I just stare at Thaddeus and like put my head in my hands and kind of tilt it and just stare at him for a little bit, like appraisingly. That's neat. Okay. And then I write myself, well, I was on vacation. When I take vacation, so does service, and the summer's night's closed for a couple of weeks. So I meet Doc when I come back into town, and I figured he'd be here of all places if the summer's night is closed. And I look at Emmeline. Emmeline, dear, summer's night is where I work, and it's also where I live.
But full time?
Yes, I do work full time and earn my keep, and I also live there full time.
You know, I think I have seen you at certain social functions.
Yes.
Have you been in the same profession long? I haven't been in town for a few years.
I have been in it long enough.
I see.
But I am glad we're meeting now. You two are related.
Unfortunately.
Yes, this is my baby sister, who has a bit of a wild streak in her, I'm afraid.
By baby sister, he means the more mature Bros feather. And as far as wild streak, there are certain places in town that I would not be seen if I were not following my dear brother to find out what he's been up to.
Well, I can't wait to see you at the summer's night so we can talk more.
I look forward to that as well.
So about this time you hear kind of making its way through the crowd, you just hear a, out of the way, let me through, come on, let me through, guys, let me through. And you can sort of look and you see the crowd sort of moving and jostling around, and then near the table, a rather short and stout but exquisitely dressed gnome sort of pushes his way out through the crowd, sort of adjusts this big floppy hat that he's wearing and tightens up a scarf. And he makes his way over and goes, delighted to meet you. Volothamp Gadarm, at your service. Chronicler, wizard, celebrity. You look like some adventurers. Please, can I sit? And he doesn't even wait before like hopping up on a chair nearby, sort of sitting down, straightening up all of his clothes. And sort of just keeps rolling over, going. He's just like, I think you've noticed all the violence in the city. I haven't seen so much blood since my last time in Baldur's Gate. And he pauses a little bit and sort of looks around.
You've been to Baldur's Gate?
Yeah, of course. I travel all over. Volothamp Gadarm, didn't I? I'm sorry, you've, I think, had maybe seen my books?
Oh, well,
Volo's Guide to Monsters?
yeah.
That's my most recent one.
I read your little fantasies. We're entertaining.
He sort of looks over and his face kind of goes blank a little bit. And he's like, well, not fantasies, all true, I assure you. I've traveled the realms gathering every story chronicling my experience. But I think that I could use your help. You see, I seem to have misplaced a friend of mine. Amid all of this kerfuffle in the city, and I'm a little worried that perhaps he has been kidnapped. His name is Floon Blagmar. Bit more beauty, than brains. And I worry that he might have taken in a bad way a couple of nights ago after we were out drinking. Maybe he's been kidnapped, maybe murdered, I don't know. But if you agree to track him down with all due haste, because I'm working on my new book and don't have time for my very dear friend, I can pay you each 10 gold up front and much more if you find him and bring him back.
What did this friend of yours happen to look like?
Floon? Well, a rather handsome fellow, red hair, quite attractive.
We have to find him.
At orc, what?
Oh no, he is human.
Oh,
Well, I certainly haven't seen him.
I think we can definitely help find him, Volo.
He's early 30s, wavy reddish blonde hair. He was dressed quite, and he sort of indicates Thaddeus, rather princely, richly attired. He's a wealthy individual.
Well, that just sounds fantastic. Even more reason we have to find him, don't you think, Thaddeus?
Excuse me, but I don't understand this we. What we are you referring to? Because the only we I'm aware of is my dear brother, who needs to be returning home with me.
Are you his mother or his sister?
Are you his friend? Or something that I should not speak of?
Oh, you are more than welcome to speak
more like
as
business
much as you want.
I believe in having, respectful manners in public. I know not everyone is familiar with this concept.
Well, I also believe in speaking plainly.
Okay, then I will be frank with you. I'm on my way home, Thaddeus. Would you like to accompany me?
Oh, Boo, where's your sense of adventure and friendship? You
Yes!
said that we should be civil in public.
Listen to your brother, sense of adventure.
Somebody who might be dead than our family.
And I've got coin, and he's like stacking out sort of individual pouches. He sort of jingles them around.
Money is no object for us. We are brass feathers. If there might be a moral reason to engage on this adventure, what do we know of this man, your friend? Is he... What do you think, Thaddeus?
He's a good man. He's my friend, after all.
Mm-hmm. As my dear sister pointed out, money is, well, always of interest, not of the most motivating for people like us.
Well, you will have earned the ever undying respect and favor of a very widely known celebrity all across the realms. Namely myself, Volotham Kadarm, at your service.
At the very least, it'll be a very interesting story to tell while you are at all of your soirees, don't you think?
I could even mention you in my new book that I am currently writing.
Yes, and that will raise you even higher in the echelons of Waterdeep.
Tell me, you're Waterdavian nobles, a very long and old family. I'm sure that you have many crypts in your holdings. Have you ever dealt with the spirit world?
Ooh.
Well,
Do you have a ghost or two in one of your estates, perhaps?
that's of particular interest to me.
Well, I happen to be working on a book, Volo's Guide to Spirits and Specters.
Indeed.
I could,
Expert for this book.
Oh, well, I am always happy to consult, as it were, with fellow adventurous sorts.
Perhaps Bras Feathers could help produce this book in exchange for some compensation from it.
Perhaps I would have to get in touch with my agent, my money man, as it were, and figure out all the details. But that can come later.
Indeed. Well, Boo, this is a way we can help the fine citizens of this city. I know you've been away for a while. Might be good to get out and wander the streets.
Actually, since I've returned, I've done little more than tidy up the shrine at home. This sounds like fun.
Excellent.
Oh, Emmeline, if that's all you've done since you've been back, then yes, we must have some more fun.
Plus, we finished our ale, so we have to do something now.
Exactly.
No future in sitting around doing nothing.
Well, I tell you what, the last place where I saw Floon, we were drinking at the Skewered Dragon. We were having a few drinks. I was having a little bit of trouble with my book. I find a night out on the town with a friend, always a good way to learn more. And clear out the writer's block. You know, I get so many stories about these spooks and specters, it's hard to just put them in order and figure out the best ones to tell and keep all my readers wanting more. So we went to the Skewered Dragon, had some drinks. I left about midnight or so. He was still there. And that was 2 days ago, and I haven't seen him since.
Say, Volo, the next time you need to break through your writer's block, come visit me at the Summer's Night.
Oh, the Summer's Night. I've heard good things about the Summer's Night. He sort of looks at you kind of appraisingly and just sort of, he's got these like big fancy like mustaches, like kind of walrus mustaches, and he like kind of smooths them a little bit, sort of primps himself up a little bit, and he goes, I just might do that.
Great.
You know what I found? Another excellent way to clear your mind is meditation. In fact, I learned it from my master at the monastery. He was another gnome like yourself. Lemongrass was his name. So it goes like this. You just clear your mind. And just repeat that a few times. It does wonders for clearing your mind. You should try that next time you write.
I spent some time at a monastery way up, up in the mountains. You probably never heard of it, but it was a good place. I learned a lot, and some meditation is great after I prepare with a bunch of ale.
Speaking of, what sort of, do we need to make any preparations, or are we good to go?
Well, if we can consider this contract signed, and he sort of like goes to hand you a pouch and sort of like shake your hand individually, one at a time. When you've found out more, you can always find me here. I'm staying here at the Yawning Portal while I'm in Waterdeep, because Derna knows me one.
Excellent. And that's a great tip about drinking beer before meditation.
Oh yeah, it really lubricates the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then Volo sort of just like pushes himself off his chair. You know, he's like 2.5 feet tall. And like, saunters his way through the crowd again. He's like pushing at people's legs. Let me through.
Good sir.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
I believe you mentioned something about a starting fee.
Oh yes, that's. And he indicates the like gold pouch that he left there on the table.
Oh, I see. Very good.
Wait, have some soap. This one's rose and cream.
And he takes it and sort of sniffs it. I like soap. Tucks it in a pocket. Now, if there is nothing else, I can leave you to get to your work. But if you have other questions...
It was a pleasure, Volo.
The pleasure is all mine, my dear. And he sort of like takes the hat off and does the big swirling bow. Saunters away.
As he's leaving, I look at everybody here and says, do any of you know where this skewered dragon may lay?
So, Styx, I think you definitely, at the very least, know where the skewered dragon is.
Yeah.
It is in the dock ward.
Yeah, I would have passed it probably a couple of times at least.
Yeah, and specifically, it is sort of at the intersection of Net and Fillet Lanes.
All right. So, yeah. So I'll go ahead and pass on the information of where I think it at. So what do you think, Songbird? Digger? You think we need to go ahead and get in the middle of all this?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Okay.
You're the bard.
Well, I think it will make for a very good story. But before we head anywhere, I'd really like to go back to my apartment so I can offload this, change into something a little more comfortable and appropriate. But yeah, I think it'll make a great story. Finding a missing person. There's one from such a fascinating gentleman like Volo.
What time of day is it now, Dan?
It's in the evening.
Late evening or middle evening?
It's like middle evening, enough where the streets are starting to empty out, especially this time of year. It's harvest time. It's not the depths of winter, but people like to be indoors and around a fire when at all possible. But the streets wouldn't be totally empty. It's still a normal time to be out doing stuff.
Well, we're going to have just a little bit of time before it gets a little bit too deep into the night to actually do anything. So if we're going to do something, we need to do it quick or wait until the morning.
Well, and you would know a place like the Skewered Dragon, so the taverns and things, definitely more active in the evening than the day.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get everything. Meet back here in, say, an hour.
That'll be good. Stop by the apothecary. It's near the Summer's Night, so I'll walk Dahlia over.
Emily,
All right.
you're more than welcome if you would like to see where I live and work.
I'm going to head back and pick up one of my little light crossbows and a backpack or two.
Okay.
To carry a few things around.
Okay.
Thank you, Dahlia, but we'd better head home. I think I might need to change into something more suitable.
That's fair.
All right. So, how about Dahlia and Doc? Why don't you guys describe for me sort of what your places look like and how you get ready and prepared?
So the Summer's Night is a tavern. I think we said it was in the trade ward.
Yes.
There is a tower. Not a tower. I guess I feel like there's a better word for this, but like
A turret?
Yes, a turret. Thank you. There is a turret that the second floor lives in, and that's where Dahlia's apartment is. But the ground floor looks like your standard tavern. Wood bar, wood floors, wood tables, low ceiling, dim lights. There's a couple booths on a far wall that have like curtains that are pulled back.
Okay.
Cushy seats. I have my own key that I use to get in. Zervis hasn't come back yet, but I'm expecting him to return in maybe a few more days. Pretty soon, I think. and I just prepare. I go up to my apartment. I'll put my backpack down, which has like had like stuff that was good for traveling. Pick up a bag. I change my clothes. Pretty standard stuff, nothing too crazy. And I guess I'll just describe it now. But what I end up changing into is like I have like a messenger like pack thing, and I've taken my hair down, and at this point, Dahlia has put on like a lot more form-fitting clothes, whereas her clothes before were like looser and comfortable, more appropriate for travel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a white, long-sleeved, like flowy kind of shirt, a black leather girdle that laces in the front, a long skirt with like a slit up the side, and boots, a whole thing. Yeah, I think that's adequate.
Excellent. Sounds good. Doc, is there anything special you do at your family's apothecary shop? Oh, you're muted, I think.
Yeah, as far as the family's apothecary shop, it's been with the family for a few generations, and those generations are actually living on the second floor. And so the main floor is the where the apothecary is. Got some side, a couple side rooms. But being dwarven, the shelves are a little bit lower, a little more accommodating. I actually prefer to set up shop in our basement cellar type. It makes it easier to come and go, and also do the after hours work that needs to be done with sticks and digger. And but as far as gear goes, seeing as we're just supposedly going on just like a fact-finding mission or finding a missing persons, I might go ahead and grab a hooded lantern and a oil flask just in case if we're out that long. Backpack, but nothing too much. I don't see us needing to repel or anything, so I leave the rope at home.
All right, excellent.
Yeah, I'll seeing as it probably doesn't take me near as long to get ready, I'll just be waiting out by the summer's night, waiting for Dahlia, and so.
Yeah, doing the pose, like leaning up against something,
right,
and like trying not to look like you're
looking at my sundial. Clearly, it's not working right now.
All right, excellent. So Sticks, you said you went back to your place where you lay your head, crossbow.
Yeah, I've just got a small little apartment that really is just, I kind of flop there more than anything else. And I go back and kind of rummage around, and I find my crossbow and a few light crossbow bolts and my backpack, and kind of pick up a few things and throw that in there. And just in case I need something with a little bit more oomph than my sticks.
All right.
That's about it.
Sounds good. Do you put on sort of, I guess, do you have, armor on or anything like that?
I wear leather armor almost all the time. So, and I've got this kind of jacket. It's looks almost like a rain slicker, right? Mm-hmm. It looks a little different than normal, but that's about it. So, but the leather armor is just your normal, just regular leather armor. So,
all right, excellent. And the siblings' Bros feather.
Yes,
what about you guys?
I assume there's some form of taxi or something because we have to get over to our estate.
Yeah, there are like horse-drawn carriages that work as cabs that move through the city. Yep,
we get the cab to the estate, and I go and I have actually a pack set up and my longbow and the hand axe that I grabbed, and Just okay. I'm ready.
So, oh, okay. So Emily actually has a pack ready too, although she wouldn't want anyone to know about it because when she's not keeping up appearances, she likes to entertain herself, and she learned to be a little more independent when she was at the monastery for a few years. So she definitely loses the gown. So she emerges in leggings and boots and a loose tunic. But then she loves doing incongruous things. So she has this rich fur-lined cape that she's got on top of this simple monk outfit, for warmth. And then her hair is all up and, out of her face and off her neck. But then she's got her little blue feathers still stuck in there. Well, not little. I mean, it's pretty big blue feathers.
I like it. And her trusty boomerang, I'm guessing, as well. Of course,
yeah. So she's got her pack and her boomerang, and she still has the signet ring. I'm assuming Thaddeus has his too. And scroll of pedigree and so on that's in the pack, and of course she wouldn't go anywhere without her soap bag.
Of course, of which she has used several charges already.
And, as we're leaving, I oh yes, and I turn around, go back, and I get a handful of sashes that are gold and maroon, the family colors.
Okay.
Oh, and so she refills the soap bag because she has quite a stash at home.
Excellent. All right. So you guys all wander back after an hour and meet at the Yawning Portal. And you know that the skewered dragon is on net. What did I say? Net and...
Fillet?
Net and
yes,
fillet.
net and fillet lanes. That's right. In the dock wards. So I let you know where it was, but of course, some of you may potentially know more about this tavern, particularly Styx, potentially also, Doc, maybe Dahlia.
Okay.
I tend not to venture out to other taverns because I'm usually busy working, so if I know anything about another place, I imagine it would be like an interesting bit of information.
Yeah. So Styx and then maybe Doc are the sort of the more that interact with the sort of clientele. So you guys could go ahead and give me just general intelligence checks.
Yeah, I would have probably bounced there maybe once or twice or something.
And I know I probably fixed up a patron or two.
I got a 10.
Okay.
And what you said, just
intelligence. Yeah.
Intelligence. Okay. Yeah, that was 11.
11. Okay. So you guys both know where it is, and I would say you know that it has a reputation of being, a lot of dock workers that go there. It's kind of a rundown sort of place, but occasionally there's at least some more shady folk that hang out there. It's definitely an odd spot for Volo to be hanging out at.
Right. A little bit of inspiration. I can think of other places to be inspired, but to each their own.
All right. So are you guys going to do anything special to make your way there?
Well, just kind of make sure that we're not followed. That's for sure.
And as we get into the dock ward, I'm guessing the lamps and lanterns become a little less frequent, right?
That's right. There are, and so Waterdeep's pretty cool in that as a magical city, a lot of places have continual flame spells cast around signs and on some of the buildings. And then there's lanterns that there is a guild of lamplighters that go around and light them. But definitely as you enter the dock ward, you find more places where, the lantern that's at the mouth of that alley is conveniently not working anymore and things like that. It's definitely a rougher place. It's, it's gentrifying a little bit. It's not quite as bad as it used to be. A lot of things have moved to the field ward because the field ward is not part of the city. So the dock ward does still have, you know, patrols. You see city watch out on patrol, but there's fewer of them, and you know.
Yeah. So I think the Brass Feathers would want to take a circuitous route and be dropped off somewhere that was a little more seemly, and then sort of sneak a back way on foot. And now that there's fewer lamps, you know, and Emmeline's not worried about being seen by, you know, her parents' business associates, she seems quite a bit more comfortable than you would think in the back alleys.
All right. So Styx, you were keeping a watch out for people potentially following you. Yeah, so why don't you go ahead and roll me a perception check for that, a wisdom perception check.
Yeah, I'm also going to keep one of my clubs kind of handy so I can actually get to it pretty quick just in case.
Yep.
And if it helps, I'm going to go ahead and light the hooded lantern and just kind of like half. So it's kind of like illuminating the ground in front of us and not giving up a whole lot of light, but enough that we're not going to trip on any broken cobblestones or anything.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect.
All right, perception 21.
Okay. So yeah, you're keeping an eye out. So as you guys make your way sort of into the dock ward and are headed towards the skewered dragon, you do come by a scene where in an alley that's now kind of brightly lit because the city watch, there's a whole basically contingent of city watch lined up with like lanterns out sort of on poles. You know, everything has been lit and is nice and bright.
As I see the city watch, I turn to people and pull the sashes out that I brought and kind of hand them to the three who aren't Brass Feathers and say, you may want to be wearing these if you plan to have your weapons out. Claim that.
I give it back. That doesn't go with my outfit at all.
No, but it may keep you out of trouble.
If you want to be arrested for carrying a weapon openly, then don't wear it. As soon as you put it on, you're a soldier of the Brass Feathers, and you're allowed to carry weapons.
Do you see any weapons on me? As far as you can see, I have no weapons.
And it's not illegal to carry weapons in Waterdeep. It's illegal to brandish them is a crime. Now, people tend obviously not to walk around with, you know, great swords and stuff. Most Waterdeep Davians that you see at most have maybe like a dagger or a cudgel on them. You don't see many swords. Dueling is illegal, but you know, you do see the odd adventurer around and that might have a weapon on them.
Yeah, and I'm fully aware of this. I'm just kind of trying to
I'll
bolster the family image in a bad
way. I'll go and tuck the sash just into my belt. Like, I'm not going to put it on like a formal sash or anything. I'm like, I'll entertain you. I want to keep a low profile, anything to keep the edge off, and I'll just kind of tuck it in the side of my belt, have it dangling off the side.
I throw the sash on top of the dock. like playing a game of horseshoe.
Instead of looking offended, she just kind of leans closer to Dahlia. You're right. It didn't match.
And so, you know, as you're passing the sort of scene in the alley, the guard are around and are sort of in the process of tying up the hands of three individuals that are in blood-spattered black leather armor. And there is a couple of bodies actually laying in the street in pools of blood, like obviously dead. And sort of these individuals kind of look at you with hard eyes as you're going by. And one of the city watch just kind of comes along to say sort of, move along, nothing to see here. Keep going.
Well, this looks entertaining. What's going on here?
I kind of get up close to Thaddeus and go, I don't think we're going to be able to sell that little sparkle of yours. One of the guys that just got pinched is the guy I was going to sell it to.
Looking at the scene before me, I turn to him and say, looks like somebody could hire you.
I know a couple of those dudes, but we're going to keep on walking.
I just
what item?
Oh.
let's talk about that later.
Yeah.
And not even making eye contact, just keep moving forward. And
All right. So
I kind of suck my breath in sharply when I see this side of dead bodies. My eyes get wide and my face kind of grows pale, and I just like avert my gaze and walk swiftly past this scene with or without the group.
all right. So yeah, so you guys continue. Oh, sorry.
Dahlia, is it the blood or what?
Let's go. We have a place to be.
All right. It's fine with me.
All right, so you continue on your way and then find yourself at the intersection of Net and Fillet Lanes. And you can see opposite this is a ramshackle building that could only be described as a ruin that is not really fit for human occupancy. It's 2 stories, the walls are sagging in, the 2 windows in the front are actually busted out. So you can just like see into the building. There's a fire going in the fireplace. There's people clustered around tables. And there is also a ship's anchor half embedded in the roof of the building, which is sagging precariously.
Well, here we are.
they don't make them like they used to.
Oh, no.
But there is a door.
I'd forgotten how bad this place looked like.
God, about it smelled.
Shall we enter
Good
through the
times,
door
good
or
times.
drop in through the roof?
It's one of those jobs where you go, I don't know why I actually worked here.
We'll go ahead and just put out the lantern for now, and we'll just walk in just like we belong there. At least that's what I'm thinking right now.
When you walk in, it is obvious that you do not belong there. There's probably about a dozen people, men and women, clustered around tables in small groups of 3 or 4. They're wearing rough kind of workwear. They all sort of look like dock workers. It seems like the appeal of the place might be the fact that the tankards are huge. Anyone has gone to a place where they sell, thunder mugs, basically these like 1 liter, sorry for all of you who I'm the only one who uses metric units.
No.
But the sort of like half gallon or whatever it is, like big thunder mugs, right? It's, like 3 beer worth of things. That's what they're drinking out of. So some sort of cheap beer. They kind of look up at you with hard eyes and sort of immediately go back to their drinks. Sticks and Doc, you sort of know that this place has at least a reputation that people kind of mind their own business and they don't talk much.
Oh, yeah.
Fine by me. That's how I make a living. It works just fine.
I'm real good at keeping my mouth closed.
Well, this is a delightful little crap hole, isn't it?
Don't call it a crap
Yes,
hole. It's clearly a tavern.
One man's.
Do you drink out of your toilet? I certainly.
It's a crap hole. Trust me. It's a crap hole.
Yeah. In the sincerest sense of the word.
If anyone that's like already, if any of the current patrons like look at us and I see them looking, I just like give them a wink.
Go ahead and just make a charisma check.
Oh, okay.
While she's doing that, I guess this is a good time to point out that Doc's clothes are always clean. So yeah, he kind of, even though he's not dressed up fancy, it's just tan and clean physician's clothes. They're always clean.
Just general charisma.
You can go with a persuasion check. Yeah, charisma persuasion.
That'd be a 20 then.
All right. The guy that you wink at sort of chokes on his beer a little bit and sort of sits it down and like hurriedly like kind of, tries to wipe the foamy beer out of his ratty beard and sort of smiles with crooked yellow teeth. and sort of like tips his hat to you. He's definitely like in the throes of trying to make himself look presentable.
I don't pay him any more attention. I just, just keep traveling with the rest of the group.
Yeah, and you probably see out of the corner of your eye his buddies sort of elbow him and start kind of making fun of him. There is a bartender in, like a white, bartender's apron. It's clearly stained, thinning hair, sort of bald on top, bit of a belly. His name is Jonah. Sticks, you know that. And he's kind of, the surly sort. He just kind of just eyes you as you come in. It's almost like he's looking at you sort of like, college students that have found their dive bar, and the locals really hate, the group of hipsters who've just walked in.
Jonah, what's up?
Sticks, see you brought some friends.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily call them friends. More like help. Just helping.
All right. Well, are you drinking?
A little bit. Working more than drinking.
Whoa. I'll have what they're having.
All right. 2 silver. He sort of goes away, pours this big foaming mug, which he hands over to you.
Continue. I'm good now.
It's not very good. It's watery. It's they're serving it in copious amounts, but it's clearly watered down.
It's like
so
drinking Utah.
Okay.
Hey, did you happen to see a gnome here a couple of days back? Little fella, big handlebar mustache, kind of, and talked a lot.
Couple days, like 2 nights ago.
Yeah, something like that.
I wasn't working 2 nights ago.
He was with a human.
But most people here are regulars. Ain't got much other places to go, so maybe one of them seen something, but not me.
Yeah, don't want to bother them while they're drinking.
Well, if you talk prettier enough or show some coin, might be a good way to brighten their day.
It might be. All right, thanks. And I'm going to slide him a couple of silver.
He palms them pretty neatly, slides them into a pocket in his apron, pats it a little bit. You're all right, Sticks.
I try. All right.
What are the rest of you doing?
I look at Thaddeus and Emmeline, and I say to them in kind of like a hushed whisper, maybe you two should stay here at the bar and let me, Sticks, and Doc take care of talking to these kind of people.
Would you like to take some soap?
No.
By all means, I don't even mind drink here.
I'm sure they feel the same way about you.
I'll watch after the kids. I got some drinking to do anyways. I'll let you guys handle this.
If you say so. I look at Sticks and gesture out to the to the floor. Shall we?
Let's go. I'll let you do the talking. Because
all right.
All I'm going to do is make them very uncomfortable.
Well, don't make them too uncomfortable. That's
why I was going to let you do the talking.
I'm going to saunter on over to the Mr. Winky Man's table.
Yep.
And I just stand there. I'm not taking a seat. I hover over them. And now that I'm in heeled boots, I'm even taller than before. And I put my hands on my hips. And I just give them a big smile. Well, hello.
Oh, hello there. lady. Name's Theodore. How can I help you?
Well, hello, Theodore. Can I call you Theo?
Oh, I haven't been called that since my dear mammy passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Theo is an excellent name, and so is Theodore. Your mother had great taste.
Yes, indeed.
Say, I'm looking for a dear friend of mine, and he told me about this place, which I love. I work in taverns, so I appreciate all kinds. And I was wondering if you had seen him. He missed our meeting, and I know he likes to frequent here. He and I proceed to describe Volo's appearance and Floon's appearance.
Okay. Go ahead and make another persuasion check.
I'm so used to playing in Roll20 that I keep wanting to like click on the D&D Beyond sheet. Oh no! Fuck. Oh god, that's a 7. It sticks. Sticks is the problem here.
Yeah. Not intimidate him for a second. So.
And so Theo sort of smooths his beard a little bit, and he says, I don't know. I don't like to talk much about other people's business.
What do you mean?
Well, place like this, it's a good idea to keep my eyes on my beer and my lips closed.
Well, I think that's very smart and wise. I'm sorry for having interrupted your drink. And I just turn on heel and I look at Sticks and I just mouth like, let's move on. Because there's other tables. I don't need to worry about wasting my time with this fool.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, Dan rearranges cameras. I'm gonna head over to another table. Maybe someone that looks that maybe I'm gonna try to find a table that I think I can manipulate to helping me.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and give me let's say a charisma investigation check an insight check. Wisdom insight check as you're trying to sort of suss out who the most likely helpers in the room might be.
Oh no! Why? I fucking won!
Wow!
There's a table in the corner with some real angry looking men, but they're eyeing you something fierce. And they look like they're pretty likely.
I look back at Sticks and I'm like, I think that's your kind of crowd, not mine.
Well, let me go over here and talk to him then.
And I'm just gonna stand behind Sticks and just try to look pretty.
Walk over to him. What's up? Wondering, were you here a couple of nights ago?
Might have been. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Don't see it's any of your business.
Well, it damn might be. I'm looking for a friend of mine.
Yeah?
And he was here with a little gnome. Did you happen to see a gnome a couple of nights ago?
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Why would I want to tell you?
Well, we could do it two ways. I can give you a little coin for helping me, or I can beat your ass. Which one do you want?
Well, you tell me how much gold it's worth to avoid me beating your ass, and we'll talk.
I was thinking a couple of silver, and you avoid getting your ass beat.
Why don't you go ahead and give me a charisma intimidation check?
All right. You said charisma intimidation check?
Yes.
Oh, damn. All right. Woohoo! A 1. I rolled a 2 and I have a 9 charisma.
Does he get like advantage because I'm sitting back there trying to look all sweet and nice?
I'm not sure if the sweetness and light does much to aid the intimidating presence.
I'm guessing it's too late to do a strength
wait.
intimidation.
No, wait, hold on. Oh, but he rolled a 1. It doesn't fucking matter. Never mind.
No, I rolled a 2, but I have a 9 charisma. So.
Oh, so it was a -1. Wait. Can I give him some bardic inspiration?
Absolutely.
Okay, so he gets to add a d6. I don't know if that's gonna help.
Add d6.
Yeah.
Oh, 4. So, a 5.
So he sort of pushes himself back from the table a little bit, and just says, "Oh, there we go." Pushes himself back and just says, "Well, I really think that gold's the only thing that's going to loosen these lips."
No future in it, but let's go. I really want to know.
And he just taps. He's like, "Gold. Or, we can rouse some other boys, but I don't think you want to mess with the Black Network in their bar."
I'm gonna fish into my coin purse in my bag and put enough coin on the table that he gets 2 gold.
All right.
I've been watching all this sitting at the bar, and I see that this is not going well. So I get up and just kind of stroll over and go up and drop 3 gold on the table
All right.
and put my hand on sticks.
So the guy kind of eases back and sort of, scoops out the coins and sort of partitions it to the other guys at his table. "See, was that so hard? So, you were looking for a gnome. Yeah, funny little guy in a big ass hat was in here a couple of nights ago with his friend. Wavy, reddish hair, kind of pretty looking guy.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, the gnome was here drinking. He buggered off about, midnight or so. His friend stuck around and, kept drinking a little bit when a friend of his came in. One Raynar Neverember. Rather chip off the old block. Probably just as big of a fancy noble and probably as big of a crook as his old dad was."
Oh, isn't that a dandy thing? What was the son of the stuffed shirt up to?
Oh, I don't know. Looking down their noses at us folk, I suppose. Bunch of hoity-toity nobles. No offense to your fine self over there in your fancy-ass clothes. But,
keep saying that.
well, a bunch of spoiled rich folk in here slumming it. They were having a couple of drinks, drank, played a few rounds of cards. I didn't see where they went after that, but I sure did see the 5 men who followed them.
And did you happen to remember what these men may look like, or maybe see where they went?
Well, I know where they like to hang out.
Where would that be?
Little warehouse over on Candle Lane. It's got a big snake on the door, can't miss it.
As all the players frantically.
Start writing notes down. Anything else we might need to know about this group?
Oh, I said about all I can on that. Know where you can find them.
Would you say this is an establishment that appreciates a good story, a good song?
Kind of looks around at everybody.
Not here. I mean, I couldn't get a sense for things. Unless I'm completely off in my judgment. I mean, this snake warehouse.
Oh, maybe, but it's not really a drinking establishment. It's a bit more of a, let's just call it a place where you lay your head and hold up with illicitly gotten goods.
Safe house.
Oh.
Yeah, you got it.
That makes sense. Is this a place that appreciates a good song or story?
I'm afraid not. I mean, well, old Theo over there seems to be googly-eyed at you, so he might. But it's not exactly the kind of place that's used to finer things, and definitely not used or able to pay for it.
All right.
But if you want to sing, little birdie, by all means.
Well, first up, I'm not a bird,
Well.
but I'll think about it.
Now, if we can be of no further use to you fine folk, I think we'll just take our well-earned compensation here and buy us some whiskey.
That's an excellent use of your well-earned money.
And he sort of like scoops, the coins that he had sort of partitioned out, scoops them up, sort of jingles them in his hands, puts his hands to his head towards Styx and says, "Thank you very much, comrade."
Better hope Big Jake doesn't have to you don't have to use Big Jake, because he's going to hear about this one.
I am not worried in the slightest.
You might be when you're sitting on stuff that you need to get rid of.
Oh, I think we'll be all right.
I just walk away when they start talking about that kind of stuff.
Well, I don't know about you all, but I've had about as much of this lovely establishment as I can handle. It seems my dear sister has already seen her way out.
Off the edge of a screen.
I went ahead and stuck with Emmeline. Not necessarily so much like a chaperone, just kind of following at a safe distance, letting her be her own, but I'm taking the tankard with me.
There you go.
So Emmeline and Doc, what were you guys doing while everyone else was engaged in their little parlay?
Well, take this time to formally introduce myself and not go into too much detail about how I know everybody, but just been here for a brief time, knew your parents, good people, and hope to continue working with the younger Brass Feathers.
I didn't realize you were a business associate of my parents.
Yeah, well, I'm not necessarily long in the tooth, but I've been around. So,
Well, I'm sure whatever services you offer our family are greatly appreciated. My brother seems to think highly of you.
and I am. He's rambunctious, but it'll be good to have you around to help keep him in line. I know Styx is he's an influence, so it'll be nice to have you in the party as well.
Well, thank you. I am looking forward to doing something other than tidying up the shrine for a while.
I can understand. First few 50 years or so, that's all I did around the apothecary. So, yeah, it gets a little tiring.
That's a long time to sweep.
No time at all. You got to pay your dues at some point. Better get out of the way early. So.
Well, I think I need some air. I might head outside now.
I'll join you, and I think they got it in here. If not, I'm sure we'll hear about it. So we can mosey outside.
Okay.
All right. So the rest of you that are inside, I'm presuming that you guys are planning on leaving.
Yeah, I think I've gotten all I need out of this place.
Okay. And you know where Candle Lane is? It's also not terribly far, and it's also within the dock ward.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, Styx.
So what did you guys find out? Anything good?
Well, basically, there's a warehouse that we need to go check out. It's got a snake on the door, and they gave us some general directions on where to go. And I still want to beat the devil out of that dude.
Aw.
No doubt you could.
You got his name?
Oh yeah, I know.
All
him.
right. When we got time.
We got time.
So.
This feels like it's on the dangerous side. I've never been to a safe house, is what you called it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a certain kind of person that should be going into a place like this? Is that kind of person me or these two? And I clearly gesture at the siblings.
Well, it takes all kinds.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, really.
All right.
We do.
We run into some very interesting people. All walks.
I like interesting people.
Excellent. You may know some of them. That might come in handy.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might be right.
So those of you with criminal connections would know that the snake they're referring to is most likely the emblem of a flying snake, which is the calling card of the Zentarum, the Black Network.
I have no idea.
Styx and Doc are probably the two with the sort of inside track on the criminal element.
Oh yeah.
I've worked on a few of those fellows, but that's all you're gonna get about. That's all I'm gonna say. They didn't say much. Neither did I. Their coin talked enough.
I've cleaned up a few messes for them. That's it.
Yeah, and Styx, you know that there's currently a sort of schism within Waterdeep. There's sort of two factions within the Zentarum, which may be why some Zents sold out some other Zents.
Mm-hmm.
Or, just coin. There's no loyalty among thieves.
That's it.
Are the different factions? That's like a thing that everybody knows about. Like everybody's heard of the Zentarum. They know about them.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think that the existence of the Zentarum is much of a secret. And even so, the other criminal guild within the city, the Xanathars Guild, I think that's something that people in your position, at the very least, would know exists. And they're currently in a gang war, so...
Yeah, when they're talking about the Zentarum and having worked on a couple of them or cleaned up messes, I get this worried look on my face. I don't say anything, but...
What's the matter? You look a little worried.
Well, I just wasn't expecting to get tied up into the affairs of the Zentarum and the other criminal underpinnings of Waterdeep.
Sense of adventure.
You'd be amazed at how much stuff that it has a criminal underpinning around here.
A lot of these nobles wouldn't be anywhere without the Dock Ward. These organizations. So
Oh, I am sure I have no idea what you are talking about.
that keep that up. That's a good story to start.
That's
Yeah.
plausible deniability. I know nothing.
I try not to involve myself with groups that are warring with each other. I'm trying to find something on my character sheet. Let's see. I want to see if I can use this. If this is what I. No, never mind. Okay. Yeah, that's all I say.
Okay, cool.
I was looking for see if I had a spell that I wanted to use, but I don't. So
all right.
I'd say we're working our way to the ward. I won't even bring out the hooded lantern this time. Don't necessarily want to announce our presence.
Right. So about this point, you wander by the entrance to Candle Lane, which is an alley, basically. Although it's a big alley. Some of the alleys in Waterdeep are rather large, and it is one of those places where almost all of the lanterns are mysteriously out. You look down and all you can see is one flickering light almost all the way down at the other end of the alley. All of the rest of them, and there should be, several lanterns spaced out through the alley, are dark. And the smell of garbage sort of wafts out of the alley, mixing with the brine and sea air of the harbor, and it's not particularly pleasant. Those of you with dark vision, sort of the limits that you can see into the alley, you can see piled up trash in places that makes it a little tricky to navigate down the alley, which is odd for Waterdeep, and kind of even for the Dock Ward, it's not usual, right? Places are usually cleaned pretty regularly.
I'm holding on to the strap of my bag with both hands as we were walking through this sketchy ass place.
I'll nonchalantly just have my light hammer just kind of palmed. So I'm holding, I can just release and get ready to grab the hand. Just not trying to worry anybody, especially Dahlia at this point. Just trying to keep it casual, keep it confident, walking forward.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna walk towards the rear and actually keep my club out, kind of close to my leg.
All right.
So.
I'm just going to stroll comfortably into the alley and try to hide into the shadows as soon as I get in.
Okay. All right.
Just walk in. And Emmeline is going to try to jump onto the roofs if she can.
Okay. So I will have Thaddeus to go ahead and make a stealth check.
That's a 21.
Okay.
Probably.
And Emmeline, so the alley itself is fairly wide, but there's probably the equivalent of fire escapes on buildings and that kind of thing. So if you want to scurry up and do so relatively quickly, why don't you go ahead and give me a dexterity acrobatics check.
Okay, I just rolled acrobatics. It was 17.
Okay. So you sort of parkour your way up all monk-like over, the railings and sort of scramble up to the roof. So the two humans kind of vanish, or two of the humans kind of vanish. Mm-hmm. And the rest of you are picking your way down the alley. So you get to... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dahlia.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull out from my bag this long rectangular piece of muslin.
Yeah.
And wrap it around my head and my shoulders, and I just imagine in my mind like a fashionable kind of like scarf head wrap with a veil that covers, nose down, trying to mask my appearance. I don't want anyone to see me in this place or recognize me here.
Excellent. All right. And so as you do, it sort of like morphs and shimmers and shifts a little bit until that is exactly what everyone else can see. So you guys continue to pick your way down through the alley. You get to sort of where the light is, and it is actually one of these lanterns that is lit by a continual flame, and it's flickering and casting a pool of light, and it is actually opposite what is obviously a warehouse. So there's a warehouse sitting off of this alley. The warehouse itself is sort of set on the back of the lot that it occupies. And there's a large fence, a pretty tall fence above your height, 7-8 feet or something like that, with a gate in it that's across the front of the property. And a yard sort of in between the fence and the warehouse itself. Directly opposite of the gate, you can see a large pair of loading doors, right? So like the big doors that you like crank open and you can drive a wagon or something into the warehouse. And then beside it is a normal size door and kind of branded, small. It's like meant to be unobtrusive, but also noticeable at the same time, if you know what I mean. You can see a brand burned into the wood of a coiled snake with a little pair of wings on it on the door. And that is where we're going to end for the evening. Outside of the warehouse.
Yay!
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks to all my players for joining us. Thanks to all of you for watching. And we'll go around and let people say, again, who they are, where they can be found on the internet, things that they do. But some announcements, of course. If you're watching, you've probably seen our schedule. So Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, as we have all 4 seasons and crews covered in this great adventure going through. And so be sure to tune in and watch and subscribe and all of those things. Follow us, all those lovely things that we enjoy. Thanks, one of our players that throwing us some bits and tips as we go.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so yes, I can be found here, obviously, at MadSciDM on Twitter, where I talk about science and D&D and random other stuff that people seem to occasionally listen to. But let's go around and check in with everybody. So, Nox, what about you?
You can find me at NoxNoctua on the Twitters. Every Tuesday, I'm over on Narcissus channel, playing in his every Tuesday in his Adventurers League game. We're playing through Team of Annihilation right now. Wow. And they're all legit Adventurers League characters. So that's been interesting. And this Sunday on Other Doc's channel at 1:30 Mountain Time, I'll be playing in a one-shot. It's a game from Evil Hat, which is the same people that do Fate system.
Which one was it?
Say again?
What game was it?
Which one?
The Evil Hat one.
So that game is called Don't Rest Your Head. Watch it if you want to know what it's about, but it's one shot. We're all sleepless people trying to survive in the Mad City. That's all I have going on right now.
Excellent. Sounds good. So people be sure to tune in. Jeff?
I'm Jeff. I'm Atomic Straw on Twitter. You can usually find me there mostly resharing other D&D stuff. And on variant roles on various things, mostly here on Thursday nights now.
Excellent. Yes, this is going to occupy pretty much all of our streaming time on the channel until we wrap this. Other than maybe the occasional one shot that we will try and host and tie into the story. All right, Kathy.
Cindy,
sorry.
I have two aunts named Kathy. They're both cool.
I'll have to fix it on the stream. For whatever reason, I messed that up and put Kathy and not Cindy.
It's a good name. It's just not mine.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Twitter is. No, I'm just kidding. But if you want to find me on the internet, I'm actually Respecto Biggle on YouTube. If you want to see a bunch of dorky kid stuff that I film with them, so that's all I know.
Excellent. No, that's great. Thank you very much. Ryan.
Yeah, well, I do know what Twitter is, but I don't use it at all. So I'll forego the social media and go ahead and plug my home channel, Red Hand Roleplay, and we actually have a West Style Marches, or West Marches style game with about 10 to 12 rotating characters at any given time. And so I actually play the opposite of a dwarf. I play an 8-foot Goliath barbarian, and so it's different point of view in this game. So yeah, check that out. Got podcast going almost halfway, 2/3 of the way through our first season. So we just started our second season. So.
Excellent. Yeah. The Red Hand Roleplay has been a good friend of variant roles in general, sort of promoting each other. I think it was probably like Jonathan and I got sort of connected because, of course, we got into the streaming because I also run a West Marches campaign that then turned into this, and so we talked about West Marches stuff and had Jonathan on to do some one shots, and then several of the Red Hand role players have joined in on this. So that's great, and we definitely recommend checking out the podcast because we can't have too many D&D podcasts. You really can't. Really can't. Yeah, it is great. It is great. I like to listen to it at work. And last but not least, Matt.
All right, you can find me on Twitter at Learning Kim. Talk about D&D. Retweet a lot of stuff about different artists and everything like that, and the occasional politics. And and on Thursday nights, I'm here. All right. Other than that, I'm out driving Uber. So
perfect. All right. Well, thanks to all our viewers who have stuck around. I know you're all itching to go check out Critical Role, and probably most of us are too. So we will let you all go for the evening. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next week. Bye.
Good night.